Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at December 5th, 2025.
And this date, it feels like a turning point.
It really does. I mean, this is the week the industry seemed to stop messing around with, say, flashy image generators and started building the machines that actually run the world.
We are formally waving goodbye to the purely generative era.
And embracing the age of the long horizon autonomous agent.
That's the core tension in today's source material. Our mission here is to map two huge intersecting trends that really define the day.
Okay, what are they?
First, the sudden breakthroughs in making agents highly efficient, which is what makes them viable. And second, the massive capital reallocation that followed.
Which is, in turn, accelerating this geopolitical fragmentation we keep seeing.
Faster than ever before.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the research, because if agents aren't cheap to run, they're just, well, academic toys. The drive for efficiency is really clear right from the first paper. We start in Singapore with a breakthrough called CRL.
Right, CRL. Critical Action-Focused Reinforcement Learning for Multi-Step Agents.
So what is it?
It's an elegant solution from the National University of Singapore. Basically, multi-step agents, they waste a ton of time updating their training on trivial actions.
So every single little step.
Exactly. This new algorithm, it selectively focuses the optimization signals. It ignores the routine stuff and only updates the model on decisions that are truly critical.
And the metric here is just astounding. It improves training efficiency while reducing the training samples needed by more than 50%.
50% compared to conventional methods. That is huge for the economics of agents.
It doesn't just make them better.
No, it makes them affordable. If you can cut your required training data in half, you fundamentally change who can build these and how fast they can be deployed.
It makes them a real commercial product.
It's not just a lab experiment. Exactly.
Okay, so on one hand, we have efficiency, but on the other, the scale required for state-of-the-art is still massive.
And speaking of scale,
The new Mistral 3 update. It adds 4 new open models from the French-based global player Mistral AI.
right, Mistral launched its new family. The flagship is a sparse mixture of experts model, or MOE, called Mistral Large 3.
For those who don't know, MOE is, what's the best analogy?
Think of it like hiring a team of specialized experts instead of one huge generalist. It lets you use a vast number of parameters without paying the full computational price for all of them at once.
And the numbers here, they just tell the story. Mistral Large 3 has a staggering 675 billion total parameters.
Though only about 31 billion are active at any one time.
But the infrastructure reality behind this is what's key. It needed 3,000 Nvidia H200 GPUs to train.
3,000, that just confirms it. Open source leadership now requires a national-level commitment to compute. It's an infrastructure beast.
We also got confirmation on how to train these giants to act intelligently.
Yes, the next N1 paper. It validates training on what they call interaction traces.
So what does that mean in simple terms?
It means that agents learn complex tasks better when they're fed simulated interactions from dynamic environments, not just static text.
So less like reading an instruction manual.
And more like a human intern shadowing a senior engineer. They learn by doing, or at least by watching something being done, and it matters.
It really does. The resulting model reportedly outperforms other top open source models on benchmarks like SW Beach.
But here's where we get a bit of a reality check.
Okay.
A new benchmark called DayComp came out, and it reveals a pretty significant agent reasoning gap.
What does DICOMP test exactly?
It tests the full data intelligence lifecycle. So not just coding a query, but then analyzing and interpreting the results of that query.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Agents scored on average below 40% in that critical data analysis phase.
Right, even though they were highly proficient at writing the code.
Can you ground that for us? Give us an example.
Sure. Imagine you ask an agent to figure out why sales dropped last quarter. The agent can write a perfect SQL query, pull the numbers, generate the right graph, no problem.
Right.
But it struggles to look at that graph and say, therefore, my strategic recommendation is to reallocate budget from Region 4 to product development. It can code, but it can't interpret the strategic context.
The so what? That is a huge distinction, and that distinction bridges perfectly into our last research item, this one in defense.
From the UK's Alan Turing Institute, they launched a new model for real-time maritime surveillance.
What's so special about it?
It's designed to run directly on board satellites, on the edge.
So it doesn't need to beam massive files down to Earth for processing first.
Exactly. The system can detect and identify vessels in real time right there on the satellite itself. It's a direct support for UK defense and national security.
That's AI autonomy taking immediate physical action at the farthest edge of the network.
Okay, let's move from the theoretical to the commercial. The product launches today really confirm that these long-horizon agentic workflows are becoming real.
And we start with OpenAI. They release their specialized coding model, GPT-5.1-Codex-Max, to their API.
And this seems like a direct shot at making these continuous agents economical to run.
It is. They introduced a new compaction paradigm.
Compaction, so like a smart memory manager.
That's a great way to think about it. For these long coding sessions that can last days, the model only keeps the critical context active and condenses the rest.
And they're claiming a 30% lower token usage for these multi-day tasks.
Which is the difference between your junior developer agent being profitable or just a cost center.
But this also reveals a split in the market, right?
A big one. While OpenAI is focusing on the specialist coder, Amazon is fighting back with versatility and price performance. They just launched their Nova 2 model family.
Including Nova 2 Omni, which is a unified model. It can process and generate text, images, video, and speech all at the same time.
So Amazon is betting on the cheap, multimodal generalist for big enterprise adoption.
Not just the expensive specialized coder.
And if you, our listener, actually want to build one of these agents, it just got a lot easier.
LangChain, another US player, just dropped the barrier to entry with a no-code, chat-driven agent builder.
You mean you can just talk to it to build an agent?
Pretty much. You use conversational chat prompts. They claim agents for tasks like sales research can be set up in about 5 minutes.
That turns agent development from a software project into a conversation.
And enterprise rollout is happening fast. Prismforce, an India-US collaboration, announced they're integrating agentic AI directly into Microsoft 365.
Through something called the Skill Prism AI Companion.
Yes, and it immediately impacts skill management for over 700,000 users across more than 25 tech companies.
So it's embedding agents right into the corporate workflow to make smarter staffing decisions.
Then, on a really crucial topic, digital sovereignty and consumer protection, YouTube rolled out an expanded AI likeness detection tool.
For creators in their partner program, right? This is to combat deepfakes.
Yes, it helps them find and request the removal of unauthorized AI-generated videos that use their face. It's all in their content detection tab.
So using AI to fight AI-driven privacy breaches at scale.
Before we move on, there's an important incident note. OpenAI acknowledged a bug in its vector store.
Okay, a vector store bug that degrades R-grade precision. Let's break that down.
Right, so vector stores are the special databases for embeddings that AI uses. And RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, is the system that pulls in source documents to ground the AI's answer so it can cite things correctly.
And the bug was?
What? The bug meant the retrieval mechanism was referencing entire files instead of specific chunks.
So instead of grabbing the right sentence, it was grabbing the whole book.
Exactly. Imagine telling your research assistant to find a specific fact, and they just hand you the entire library shelf. It massively degrades precision and makes citations unreliable. It really shows how small infrastructure errors can have huge downstream effects.
This all brings us to infrastructure. This shift toward profitable, long-horizon agents requires immense compute power.
And that brings us to that dramatic capital reallocation we talked about at the top.
The biggest story here is a huge financial signal for Meta.
It is. After accumulating tens of billions in losses on speculative Reality Labs projects, they are now massively cutting that budget. And the immediate result?
They finalized a deal, roughly $3 billion over 5 years with Nebius Group,
a European AI cloud provider, for cutting-edge GPU capacity. This is the financial core of today's deep dive. The market is screaming at Meta. Stop the speculative VR stuff and double down on proven AI infrastructure.
And this deal is specifically for the latest Nvidia Blackwell and Blackwell Ultra systems.
Which just confirms that demand for frontier compute is totally unconstrained.
Yeah.
Even the hyperscalers have to buy external capacity to keep up.
And that demand is leading directly to geopolitical fragmentation. In Asia, we saw the Adani Group pledge $5 billion for a Google AI data center in India.
$5 billion. And this investment is tied to supporting 15 to 30 gigawatts of additional renewable energy.
So this isn't just a data center.
Not at all. We are talking about building an entirely new sovereign energy and data grid, specifically to power machine learning in India. That's a commitment to digital sovereignty.
Meanwhile, U.S. export controls are having a very direct effect on China's domestic chip industry.
A quantifiable effect. The Chinese AI chip maker Threads had its IPO,
And it surged by 500% in Shanghai.
raising about 1.13 billion US dollars. This just confirms that geopolitical pressure is acting as a direct catalyst for indigenous R&D.
It's accelerating the fragmentation of the tech world into these rival ecosystems.
Faster than anyone predicted.
And that technological fragmentation is deeply mirrored in global policy. Nations are adopting wildly different strategies.
Let's start with the EU, the global regulator. They have launched an antitrust probe into Meta and WhatsApp's AI integration.
This is about vertical integration, right?
Exactly. The fear in the EU is that tech giants are using their massive user bases, like WhatsApp's billions of users, as a kind of cheat code to fast-track AI adoption.
Which could stifle smaller competitors who don't have that built-in distribution.
Right. Meanwhile, the U.S. and its allies are focused on physical risk. They issued a warning on AI and what's called operational technology, or OT.
Which covers critical infrastructure.
Industrial control systems, power grids, things like that. The warning mandates stricter testing and human-in-the-loop protocols.
To prevent physical damage from a model hallucinating, the risk isn't a bad email anymore, it's a damaged power plant.
And you can contrast that very cautious approach with India.
They released hands-off AI governance guidelines.
India's strategy is all about speed and scale. They want to position the country as an appealing place for investment with very low compliance friction.
So global companies have to run completely different playbooks depending on where they operate.
At the same time, China is doubling down on national competition.
The new 5-year plan explicitly designates AI as a battleground industry.
It's a coordinated national push. You have regions like Zhejiang positioning themselves as a global AI hub for industrial supply chains. The language is explicitly competitive. It frames this as a national defense priority.
And finally, a really critical move in Asia on this theme of digital sovereignty.
Taiwan banned the Chinese social media app RedNote for public sector use.
And the framing here was key. They called it a defense against cognitive warfare.
Yes. The fear is that the AI recommendation algorithms in these apps could be tuned to subtly influence public opinion and democratic stability.
So controlling the digital perimeter is now an act of national defense.
All of this, the efficiency gains, the infra investments, the strategic divergence, it translates directly into economic momentum.
Validating the business models for both AI augmentation and autonomous commerce.
First, the AI communication training platform, Udly. It tripled its valuation with a $40 million Series B.
That's a huge validation for the AI assistant model.
It's fueled by 900% annual recurring revenue growth in the last 12 months. It proved there's huge demand for tools that augment human skills, not just replace them.
And on the autonomous commerce side, Salesforce released some hard numbers from Cyber Week.
Staggering numbers. AI agents influenced $67 billion in global sales.
That's 20% of all orders.
With a 70% surge in autonomous tasks like returns processing, this confirms the agentic shift is now a mass-market retail reality.
And looking at one of the world's largest growing tech ecosystems.
In India. A union minister stated that approximately 30% of India's startups are now AI-led.
30%. Considering India is the world's third largest startup ecosystem, that is a massive number.
It shows that AI is now the dominant focus there, and that the government's investment strategy is paying off in terms of technological focus.
That was a fast and really comprehensive look at the market on December 5th, 2025. Before we wrap, let's look at what you can use today and the numbers that stood out.
Okay, for tools you can start with today, check out LangChain's Agent Builder. The new no-code chat interface lets you prototype agents really quickly.
Or is that barrier to entry?
It does. And for power users, the Hugging Face Skills package. It lets users of Claude Code basically talk to the model to submit complex fine-tuning jobs to cloud GPUs.
And our numbers of the day really confirm the scale of this agentic era. First up, $5 billion.
The pledge by the Adani Group to build that massive AI data center campus in India for Google. All about sovereign infrastructure.
And second, $675 billion.
The total number of parameters in Mistral Large 3. It just emphasizes the immense scale that's still required for state-of-the-art, even with all the new efficiency gains.
So what does this all mean for the bigger picture?
Well, if we connect the dots, right? Between the Taiwan RedNote ban, the fear of cognitive warfare through algorithms, and the U.S. warning on AI and operational technology, the risk of physical damage.
Yeah.
It presents a challenging thesis.
Which is?
The ultimate conflict for AI isn't between humans and machines. It's between sovereign powers trying to control both the physical world and public opinion. Digital sovereignty is the new defense perimeter.
So the final question for you, the listener, is what steps are you taking to secure your own data stack and understand your software supply chain in a world where these global tech ecosystems are fracturing?